Hey everyone, welcome back to Kevin Reviews. I know the lighting is a little brighter than usual. I'm actually doing this kind of in the afternoon. With Halloween coming up this week, I'm doing stuff early. I'm trying to get it all done. I got some special stuff going on. Hi, Tally. I got both Tally and Dottie next to me. Um, yeah, it's kind of funny. Um, but in any case, I'm wearing my Game Over T-shirt because you clicked on this. I recently reviewed Five Nights at Freddy's, or finished watching Five Nights at Freddy's. This is directed by Emma Tammy. I'm not familiar with her, but based on her filmography, I haven't seen any of her work. But she's also supposed to be directing the upcoming sequel, Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This is also written by Emma Tammy and Seth Cuddleback. And we have Scott Cawthon, who you might know is the designer, the creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, the games and whatnot. Then we have a cast including Josh Hutcherson, Piper Rubio, Elizabeth Lale, Matthew Lillard, and Mary Stuart Masterson. So, in terms of the Five Nights Freddy's games or FNAF games, I've only played the first one, not played the others. I didn't want to play the others because I have seen the others. Like I've seen Let's Plays by Markiplier and other YouTubers, and they look. It was kind of looked like it got harder, especially FNAF 2, where it was just kind of all over the place. So I didn't really want to, you know, play. I didn't really want to play the other ones because I felt like one was enough. In terms of the lore, I sort of follow it okay, but it's just as confusing as Kingdom Hearts games, in my opinion, anyway. I have followed it kind of with MatPat, though. I mean, I've only watched a couple of his videos, including the first video where he goes into detail of how the game was kind of created in a way, what's it based on. Because apparently, based on his theory, MatPat's theory, there was a event that happened in the '80s. I don't remember the year, involving um, a disgruntled worker who got fired. Then he broke in and killed about four, five um, of the workers in there, including the boss. Um, of course, one actually did survive, um, but yeah, I mean, if I mean, I don't have all the information on me at the moment, so I probably should have done that. But if I since I don't have it, you can look into the description below. I'll maybe put a link down there so you can read the story. Or maybe I'll put Matt Pat's video. But I think most of you have seen it. So, but yeah, so I followed it fine, but I'm not. It is a confusing story. Um, at that point, I was just kind of I didn't really care about the lore. I was just more interested in watching the YouTubers play the game. And it's kind of interesting, but I didn't really follow it that closely. But here we have Five Nights at Freddy's 2023, and much like Slender Man, this I think the game started coming out like in the early mid 2010s, and then of course now we're in 20. It was 2023. The game, the film came out, and so it feels like it's Slender Man again in a way. But I said, I kind of followed it more closely than I think I did Slender Man. But yeah, so here's my review of 2023's Five Nights at Freddy's. So the story goes in Five Nights at Freddy's. We have Mike Schmidt, played by Josh Hutcherson, who is down on his luck. He's gone through traumatic experience and also taking care of his little sister Abby, played by Piper Rubio. I'm looking at my screen a bit, and after an incident involving a security job in security job at a mall, he gets fired, but he's been given another opportunity to work at a mall in not a mall. I'm sorry, work at Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear's Pizzeria. It's all run down. It doesn't seem to be working, and there are a lot of things that are not working, or it's very finicky. So he takes the job because in order to help his sister, because there's his Anne is planning played by Anne Jane, played by Mary Stuart Masterson, is trying to take Abby away from him. So he takes the job, but what he doesn't realize is that the animatronics are come to life, and there's a bit more to the story behind it, and I'm sure many FNAF fans will know, involving ghost children taking form of these animatronics, and they have an agenda and stuff, and there's Tally right there. So, um, but yeah, and of course, Mike is also has these dreams about he has a brother who was taken from him, and he's trying to deal with that or trying to figure out what happened to him. So that's basically the story in a nutshell. Overall, I thought this was okay. I didn't. Maybe it's just because I'm not a Five Nights at Freddy's fan, even though I did follow the games and some of the lore fine. Again, it's a confusing lore, and at some point during the time, I just kind of gave up trying to understand it. But yeah, there's a lot of references as in the film, and Easter eggs and stuff, even hints on a sequel, um, a little bit, not too much, but there's hints in regardless. Um, so in terms of the performances, they're okay. Again, they're just okay. I think Josh Hutcherson is probably the best out of all of them, because he has a lot more character. Though supposed to be this traumatic, but this traumatized, guy. Kind of always like to keep his emotions bottled, but still has plenty of care and for his sister, even though he and his sister don't see eye to eye at times. Um, I don't know. It's pretty vague on their relationship a bit. So, um, but yeah, I think he does fine. As for other characters, Abby, played by Piper Rubio, I think does okay. Pretty much a regular kid character. Uh, Elizabeth Lail, who plays Vanessa, is this cop who has. There seems to be more to her. Was also okay. Sometimes the acting for her can be a bit weird. Um, doesn't seem very natural at times, but it's fine. And of course, we have Matthew Lillard, who you might know is famous for his role in Scooby Doo as Shaggy, who played a really good Shaggy. Um, and he's not in the film for very long, but he's at least memorable. Um, so yeah, I mean, so I just thought the performance overall, I was okay. It wasn't anything to write home about, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, she's trying to bite me. But the one thing I will say is I really like the production design. The production design itself, it looks like the restaurant. It definitely, a rundown restaurant. It looks creepy. You know, very atmospheric. The fact that they actually use animatronics this time is a breath of fresh air in a way, because obviously it would have been easy just to use CGI, and maybe they have done CGI for a little bit, um, and stuff, but they actually did use animatronics or had people in suits to do some of the stuff. So that's one thing that I appreciate, and this is from like the from behind the scenes and stuff. Um, so yeah, it pretty much looks like the game, um, and that's what's good. That's what's good about it. It looks like the game. In terms of story, it's more simplified because granted the lore is pretty confusing. Even still, there's probably way too many plot threads going on. Because you got the restaurant, you got Mike trying to keep Abby, you know, Abby there. Then you have Mike involving his brother being, in his dreams that he was lost to him. Um, and then you got, of course, Vanessa's tie-ins with as this cop who seems to have more going on. So there seems to be, I don't know. Sometimes it seems like there's more going on than it doesn't feel as flowing or consistent at times. But and in terms of horror, and it doesn't really do it very well. I mean, what was the rating here? I'm sorry, I have to look at this. PG-13, of course. Um, yeah, because it's PG-13. Could they have gone R? I'm sure, but because Five Nights at Freddy's was such a huge hit, yeah, she's really trying to bite me. No bitey. Sorry. Yeah. So I lost my track. She's still trying to bite me. Um, but yeah, I'm sorry. She's all right. Get off. Let's see. In terms of horror elements, there's really not a ton, and there's a moment where it gets really weird, where it kind of goes more lighthearted. Um, and I probably understand the point of it, but again, it's really off and doesn't match the tone of the of what the film is supposed to be kind of going for. Um, and and even kind of like the blood or gory moments or jump scares aren't really well thought out. And because it's PG-13, it's trying to appeal to a mass audience that have younger audiences that that watch the games or play the games, trying to really you know mainly for that target demographic for like everybody who was part of the Five Nights at Freddy's in the lore. Could they have gone R? I'm sure they can. It would have been so much better and probably would have given more of a plus for me in terms of horror. But they really kind of really toned it back on the horror quite a lot. Doesn't mean there isn't any. It's just not going to be as horrifying or scary to many. Even for general audiences, I don't think it's going to be. Um, but yeah, I think that's about it. All I can say. I think it's okay. It's better than Slender Man that I saw, where I didn't care about the girls in this one, but this one I did kind of care. They had more depth to them, um, you know, char- you know, character depth and whatnot. So I like that. And especially when it ties into the story. Um, but yeah, otherwise it's just okay. I think I would give Five Nights at Freddy's 2 stars. It's just okay. I maybe would give it 2.5, but I think 2 stars is fine. I think at some point I gotta stop. I kind of stopped caring, but it didn't really take me out of the entire film entirely. It's just okay. It's kind of a time waster. Um, with Five Nights at Freddy's 2 coming up, we'll see if it gets any better, but I don't know. In any case, what are your thoughts on 2023's Five Nights at Freddy's? Leave in the comments below what your thoughts. Give a like or dislike on the review. Feel free to subscribe to my channel as well as click the notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next review.